challenge that we always have as practitioners is how do we quantify the actual value? Because unless it is realized, we have no idea. The legacy or the shadow IT, the things that you don't know about are the things that are old, plague us all. They plague us because, they were developed by somebody who's no longer here. It's a cash cow and we don't want to shut it off yet, or our customers don't want to shut it off yet. And I think this is a great opportunity for an organization to really explore offensive security. So if you're going to keep those things around, obviously you want to get them as protected as you can, whether it be pulling them, behind a VPN, MFA, et cetera. But I think that the next piece to that, again, looking at the business criticality, model out what would the damage be to the organization if the data within it was breached or if it went offline, going back to availability integrity, again, mapping out, what is the importance of the thing. And then from there, there's a few different, you could do an inside out test, which is what are all the different paths that you can get the data out from this thing? And you'd be surprised. It's never what you think, kind of the Pedro's point about the cable, like, oh, we never thought it was the same cable. The same thing will often be the case with these pieces. So I would find all the different routes that you have the ability to get out. And then the next is step in offensive security, whether it be partnering with like a Synac or a Mandiant or a whomever, where they are just hammering against that thing. And it's always funny, you go and you ask for budget against one of these things, and let's say it's 50 grand. And I'm like, so let me understand, this thing brings in $100 million and you only want to spend 50 grand to protect it? If we had an outage, this is what the impact would be. I mean, it's somewhat of an insurance policy. And the challenge that we always have as practitioners is how do we quantify the actual value? Because unless it is realized, we have no idea. Do we know if that network scan is going to net to an infiltration and breach and exfiltration and ransomware? We have no idea. So, the ability to articulate back what the damage could be is always challenging. I always go in with kind of the mid-level and the worst level, and then kind of tie it back to what is our investment costs around protection. And as it becomes legacy, those should go up, just like a classic car. Costs more to maintain, costs more to insure.
My answer to legacy software is, look, just say no. We really, this is where as CISOs, getting buy-in from the business becomes really important. And I need them to understand the cost of maintaining this legacy software that might not have patches anymore, that if there's a 0-day vulnerability, I've got no guarantee, and my only option might be to pull the plug on that server because I have no other choice. I really need the businesses to understand and own up to the cost of maintaining all of this legacy software. Too often we play roulette and we say, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to be okay. It's behind a firewall. Only 3 people have access. I have logging. Everything's good. Don't worry about it. And that's fine until everything isn't good. And then the cost that you have to bear to do the investigation, to do the remediation, to recover, to get back your customer trust, you name it, easily outweighs the cost that you would have had to have put in place to upgrade, to move to something new, to figure out what your gaps in functionality were, right? Often people don't want to move to something new because they've fallen in love with a customization in that old and they can't do that customization in the new, right? We really have to be much more effective at talking about the business risk of all of this old software, right? And so a 0-day against the old software, it's the same black swan as diesel freezing in Oklahoma.